He asked me a question about, he wants to be really good at tennis. But what happens is after I play tennis for a while, I want to go play video games. You obviously don't fucking want it bad enough. Because a person that you want to, I became obsessed. I became obsessed with being the baddest motherfucker that God ever created. Am I that? I don't care. I believe it. And I was trying to tell him, once you become obsessed with something, obsessed, it's okay to be unbalanced for a while. It's okay. Don't be all this stuff people say, you got to be balanced. To be the best in the world at what you do. It's not about being a Navy SEAL, people. The best at what you do, you have to be unbalanced to find every bit of fucking energy and strength that you have to pull it off. Then you get balanced once you become great. And then you help other people become better from you being the best in the world.
When I'm myself, I feel comfortable. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. At least you're being yourself. We all do mistakes. We learn from the mistakes, but we will still do mistakes. And being perfect, what is being perfect? You build up something that doesn't exist. For me, perfection is being yourself. And I am being myself. People like it or not, I don't care as long as I'm being myself.
How you gain mental toughness, how you become the person you want to be, is constantly facing the things that you don't want to face. If you constantly run away from things that you don't want to face, how is there growth?
Believe in your capacities, work hard, dedicate yourself 100%, and dream. Believe all the time, believe that this is going to be possible.
The disappointment is on you. It is your fault, and you go through failure alone. But failure has made me who I am today. Failure gives you two choices. You stay down or you get up. Well, I'm up, and I am fired up because I have figured it out. And I can stay down or I can get my ass up, and I'm in the getting up business.
You can love someone and still choose to say goodbye to them. You can miss a person every day and still be glad that they're no longer in your life.
Nothing's ever going to be given to you. Everything's going to be earned. If you don't go out there and put in the work, you don't go out and put in the effort, one, you're not going to get the results. But two, and more importantly, you don't deserve it. You didn't earn it.
There's two pains in life, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. He goes, discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. Most things that are going to give you the greatest reward require discomfort initially.
Well, you should be afraid of taking risks and pursuing something meaningful. But you should be more afraid of staying where you are if it's making you miserable. It's like you're paying a price by sitting there being miserable. You might say, well, the devil I know is better than the one I don't. It's like, don't be so sure of that. The clock is ticking. Yeah, and if you're miserable in your job now and you change nothing, in 5 years you'll be much more miserable and you'll be a lot older.
If you want to know something about yourself, sit on your bed one night and say to yourself, you got to mean this. Like, you got to be desperate. This is no game, this. And you ask yourself, you sit on the bed and say, okay, man, I'm ready to learn something. Like, what's one thing I'm doing wrong that I know I'm doing wrong that I could fix, that I would fix? It's like, you meditate on that, you'll get an answer. And it won't be one you want, but it'll be the necessary one.
If you're not getting hated on, you ain't doing shit right. You need people talking about you. You need people saying, I don't like that person. Because in turn, they really want to be you.
You know why you can't tell it to everybody? Because if you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person. God has shown you some amazing stuff in your life that you thought was brilliant. Then you took it to your friends and your family, and you shared it with them, and they shot it down. You know why they shot it down? Because they couldn't see it. You know why they couldn't see it? Because God didn't show it to them. He showed it to you.
I just think that life belongs to those who can somehow make a sick joke out of it all, because it does. It works out. If you take life too seriously, what is that old saying? To those who think life is a comedy, those who feel life is a tragedy. So I just try to keep it light and lively.
Imagine you could offer people a choice. You could say, well, your life isn't meaningful. The nihilists have got it right. There's no meaning in your life. Because of that, there's no reason for you to accept any responsibility. You can live a responsibility-free life, and maybe one of impulsive pleasure-seeking, but a responsibility-free life, but the price you pay is that it doesn't get to be meaningful. Or you could say to someone, no, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to say, you can live a meaningful life. It's only going to be as meaningful as the amount of responsibility that you're willing to bear. And then you might say, well, what would people choose? Because everybody also always makes noises about wanting to have a meaningful life. But if the price you pay for that is the adoption of responsibility, then it's not so obvious that people would choose meaning over pointless pursuits if the benefit they got for choosing the pointless pursuits was that they really didn't have to care about anything they ever did, right? There's no responsibility. It's unbelievable the degree to which our sanity depends on a functioning sociological structure. And here's why. Well, first of all, you kind of need to know what to do every day. You have to have a routine, because you're an animal, and if you have a dog or a cat, dogs are a really good example of this. Dogs like routine. They like to be walked the number of times a day that they're supposed to be walked, and they get quite sick very rapidly if you don't routinize their days. Children are exactly the same way. Now, you can overdo it, right? But still, you need to know approximately when you should get up. It should be approximately the same every day. You need to know approximately when you're going to eat. You need to know what you're going to eat. You need to know who you're going to eat with. You need to know where to buy your food. It's like 80% of your life, 70% of your life, something like that, consists of those things that you do every single day, that you repeat. That's part of the incorporation of the shadow, I would say, because, Louis C.K. a while back talked about Tiger Woods, and I really liked it because people were complaining about Tiger Woods and his affairs, and also about Arnold Schwarzenegger and his affairs. And one of the things that Louis C.K. pointed out in a very comical manner was that many men aren't having the affairs of Tiger Woods. But that's not because they're good men, it's because they don't have, I think he said, a busload of Swedish bikini models waiting for them at the final hole. So the idea would be that you should conduct yourself so that you are attractive to many women, maybe that you have your pick of them, but then you should pick one, and that's a sacrifice. Obviously, that's a sacrifice of a sort.
You're not a procrastinator. You have a habit of procrastinating. You see, all habits have three parts. There's a trigger, and in the case of procrastination, the trigger's always stress. Then there's a pattern you repeat. It is to avoid doing something. And then there's a reward. You get a little stress relief. The only way to break a habit, you guys, is not to deal with the triggers. You're never going to get rid of the stress in your life. But you can 100% change your pattern of avoiding work. So next time, and where you feel yourself hesitate, what you're going to do is you're going to go, oh, I must be stressed out about something. Acknowledge the stress. Then go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to count to yourself because I want you to interrupt the habit that's stored here, and I want you to awaken your prefrontal cortex. Then I want you to just work, just for 5 minutes, because your problem isn't working. It's the habit of avoiding.
Stop telling yourself every fucking year, over and over and over again, this is going to be the year, this is going to be the year, this is going to be the year. Nobody that achieves great things in this fucking life, in this world, in this universe, goes at it with that mentality. You may think they do, but they don't. You've had enough fresh starts. Your whole life's been a motherfucking fresh start. Fresh start ain't the problem. The problem is you lack grit. You lack mental toughness. You lack discipline. And you lack the ability to see things through, which is why you can't finish things. It's why you can't say no to going to happy hour with the fucking homies. It's why you can't pass a fucking donut without taking a bite of it. And let me tell you something. When you can't control the donut, what makes you think you're going to feel happy in your life? Because you're going to be completely out of control of everything. Because if you can't control the motherfucking donut, what can you control?
The key, I think, to happiness in life, being honest with yourself and finding whatever it is that's attractive to you. Yeah. Whatever it is that draws you. It's a really crazy life if you follow your passions. Yeah. And it's a fucking crazy, boring life if you don't.
It's an amazing thing about passion. If you love something, if you have a strong passion for something, you would go to the extreme to try to understand or try to get it. If you have to walk, you would go get it. If you have to beg someone, you'll go get it.
I started small. I started with realistic goals, was writing them down every day, meditating every day. I had a discipline because I realized obviously where you lack at in life, rather it's a talent or something, you make up for it in discipline. That's what you got to do. So I just was like, if I don't have this record deal, I'm going to get this shit any way I can.
It's a competition, and my mission is to destroy you. When I play against somebody and we line up, you guard me, my whole purpose was to get you to reconsider your life choice to play basketball. So at the end of the day, you'd be like, you know what? Maybe this isn't for me. How can I mentally figure out ways to break you down? How can I show you that, no, I have the edge? You try to take their will away from them.
That's what you do, ain't it? You take people's will.
I'm going to beat you. I'm going to let you know I beat you. I'm going to want you to reconsider your professional life choice.
Really simple, man. I'm there to just absolutely demoralize and dominate the person that I'm playing against and the team I'm playing against. You know, and that was my mentality going into every single game, is just to absolutely obliterate this guy.
I just beat me. This ain't about nobody else. I don't give a fuck about nobody else. I just beat me. I'm in a battle with the only person that I really want to fucking beat, and that's me. If I can continue to outdo me from the day before, then I'm ahead.
I want to wait until I'm a champion to be able to tell my story on where I come from, being a 300-pound kid on the brink of suicide, burdened by depression, not knowing what to do in my life, not knowing where to go. And I just want to be able to share that and really inspire people, the millions of people out there that feel just like I do, that don't have a dream, that don't know what they're doing, that just need something. I want to be able to share my story with these type of people, because maybe those are some lives that I can change. So when I come in here, man, that's my focus, Paul. I want to be able to tell a story with my life, not just come in here and fight. Yes, this has made me who I am today, but man, I want to do something big. And if I want to take on the world in that way, I got to have focus, man.
You don't try to build a wall. You don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. There will not be one brick on the face of the earth that's going to be laid better than this brick that I'm going to lay in this next 10 minutes. And you do that every single day. And soon you have a wall.
Sometimes when people appear like they're loving people and they're loving everybody else, is because they don't like themselves. I've learned this: the person that is friends with everybody is the enemy to himself.